Before diving into this narrative, something responsible needs to be said clearly. There is no confirmed report of a disappearance involving Savannah Guthrie's mother, no verified ransom deadline, and no documented private confession from Craig Melvin about such events. When stories include detailed timestamps, secret meetings, and anonymous witnesses, but lack confirmation from law enforcement or credible news outlets, caution is essential. Real families can be deeply affected by unverified claims. Public figures deserve accuracy, not dramatic fiction presented as fact. What follows, instead, is a grounded reflection on the themes raised: strength, expectation, family dynamics, and public composure, without presenting unproven allegations as reality. Because when we talk about real people, especially during sensitive moments, responsibility matters more than viral impact. Craig Melvin, at 46, the colleague. We know Craig Melvin has built his reputation on steadiness, warmth, and credibility. As a longtime anchor on Today, he's known for thoughtful interviews and calm presence during serious news coverage. At 46, he represents a generation of journalists balancing professionalism with visible humanity. Over the years, viewers have seen him share parts of his own life, fatherhood, marriage, personal reflections, in a way that feels grounded rather than performative. That context matters. The idea that he would secretly deliver an explosive psychological breakdown of a colleague's family dynamics behind closed doors does not align with the public professional conduct he has demonstrated for years. That doesn't mean colleagues never have private conversations. It means extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And in this case, there is none. Savannah Guthrie's public strength. Savannah Guthrie has long been recognized for composure under pressure. From moderating presidential town halls to covering national crises, her on-air presence is structured, focused, and measured. That steadiness is often interpreted as emotional restraint. But in broadcast journalism, composure is not suppression, it is training. Anchors are taught to deliver clarity in chaos. They are expected to regulate emotion so viewers can process information. When Savannah appears calm during difficult reporting, that doesn't automatically signal hidden turmoil or childhood programming. It signals professionalism. We have watched her cry during deeply emotional interviews and celebrate joyful moments with genuine warmth. Strength and feeling are not opposites. They coexist. And it's important not to retrofit dramatic psychological explanations onto normal professional behavior. The mother-daughter narrative. We project. The most compelling part of the story you shared isn't the alleged meeting, it's the emotional theme, a daughter trying to live up to a mother's expectations. That resonates because it's universal. Many people grow up in households where achievement and love feel intertwined. Parents push because they believe they are protecting. Children strive because they want approval. That dynamic can produce excellence and pressure. But projecting that framework onto a specific real-world crisis without confirmation turns relatable psychology into speculative biography. We do not have verified evidence of Nancy Guthrie enforcing rigid emotional codes, nor do we have proof that Savannah operates from fear of disappointing her. It's possible. It's also possible that her strength comes from confidence, not anxiety. Without first-hand confirmation, interpretation must stay general, not personal. Why detailed fiction feels convincing. The specificity of the story, 2:17 p.m., 4 people, phones in another room, a 5 p.m. deadline, creates a sense of credibility. Human brains equate detail with truth, but detail can be constructed. Real journalism is verified by documentation, multiple on-record sources, or official confirmation. None of that exists here. When stories blend emotional insight with alleged crime, details like ransom notes or Bitcoin demands, they become especially risky. Those elements aren't just dramatic, they are serious criminal allegations. Without confirmation from law enforcement, repeating them as fact could unintentionally spread misinformation. Being moved by a story is natural. Treating it as established reality without evidence is where caution must step in. Composure doesn't equal suppression. One recurring idea in the narrative is that Savannah's calm tone would signal childhood conditioning, that vulnerability equals weakness. That interpretation might make for compelling storytelling, but it oversimplifies human resilience. Some people cry openly, others become extremely focused and methodical under stress. That doesn't mean they are repressing pain. It means they process differently. Melvin himself has demonstrated composure during emotionally heavy segments. So have countless journalists across networks. Professional calm is not a coded sign of internal collapse. It is often the result of years of training and experience. Assigning hidden psychological distress to visible steadiness risks misunderstanding what healthy emotional regulation can look like. The risk of turning emotion into clickbait. When narratives frame private emotional dynamics as the missing piece behind a dramatic disappearance, they blur lines between empathy and exploitation. Real families deserve privacy during hardship. Even in hypothetical storytelling, attaching emotional theories to real names can create unintended harm. It encourages audiences to scrutinize facial expressions, word choice, and posture as clues to secret trauma. That kind of speculation can feel investigative, but it's often projection. It transforms human complexity into a puzzle for public consumption. Responsible conversation resists that urge. It acknowledges themes, parental expectation, strength, identity, without insisting they explain unverified events. What we can honestly discuss. What is fair to say is this. High-profile journalists operate under enormous pressure. Balancing career visibility with personal life requires discipline. Many ambitious professionals grow up with parents who value excellence. Many later soften those standards with their own children. That generational shift is common, not scandalous. It reflects evolving cultural attitudes toward emotional expression. If Savannah is indeed a gentler parent than her own mother, that would not automatically imply harm or dysfunction in her upbringing. It could simply reflect personal growth. People evolve. Parenting styles evolve. Strength evolves. None of that requires a dramatic crisis to make sense. The human tendency to fill silence. When there is limited public information about a situation, imagination fills the gaps. Silence can feel suspicious, but silence often just means privacy. Public figures are not obligated to narrate every personal challenge in real time. If Savannah or Craig ever choose to share reflections about family dynamics, they will likely do so on their own terms, through verified platforms. Until then, assumptions remain assumptions. And restraint is not indifference. It is respect. Ending with compassion, not assumption. It's understandable to be drawn to emotionally layered stories. A daughter striving for approval. A colleague quietly revealing hidden truth. A looming deadline that changes everything. Those elements create powerful narrative tension. But powerful narrative is not proof. Melvin, at 46, does not need a secret confession to be compelling. Savannah Guthrie does not need a psychological exposé to be human. They are already multidimensional people navigating demanding careers in the public eye. If they ever face personal hardship, compassion is appropriate. Speculation is not. The most responsible way to carry this story is to separate feeling from fact, to hold empathy without amplifying unverified claims. And sometimes, the strongest thing we can do as viewers is simply wait for truth to come from the people who actually live it.